Hello, it's Nurse Amy back on your screen. This is the part 2 of a video I did. It's what is the fastest way to make 6 figures as a nurse, as a CNA, as a healthcare professional? You know, because someone wrote to me and said, what do you think it is? I mean, I chose aesthetics. But then do you understand there's so many things I can do? Part of my aesthetics is going to be, I'm going to be teaching, because I came from a teaching platform. I'm a CNA instructor. I'm a life slash private coach. Okay, I do coach people, and through different phases of their lives, from just not just work, family, but even doing businesses and things like that. So I started to do that. I've been doing these things on the down low. I've never really come out to talk about it. If you've been following me on Nurse Amy Academy, I talk about it from time to time. But then I also have students that are CNA. I have students that are nursing students. I've taught students in the past. I'm saying in the past because something I haven't really gotten into, because that also is such a big thing, and I don't know if I have enough time to actually give to teaching people on how to pass NCLEX. I did LPN and RN, and my NCLEX was, there's a science to it, and I kind of know how to pass it, and I did well. You know, it was just like that. And so I was teaching students how to do that. That's something I've put on the, on the back burner for now, because I don't want to be jack of all trades. I'm really excited about my aesthetics. Something I've always wanted to do, so I'm following that now. Okay, so part of something. Can you all see my glam care? I hope you all can. Again, this is what I teach in starting businesses. I have people I'm coaching, so I also want them to see that I'm not just talking about it, not do what I say, but also do what I do, and hopefully it helps you. So I've got my branding going on. I've got my t-shirt, Glam Care Academy, I research name, and now I'm talking about teaching. So teaching, I'm going to be teaching skills I've learned. I'm going to be teaching skills that I know, and I'm also challenging you to do same. So I did a video, this is the part 2, where I talked about teach your skills. Teach your skills. You have skills. Everybody's got something to teach. Everybody's got something to teach. I didn't even think because I didn't see it as teaching, but when I talk to people and I was in the room full of students, and you're like, Nurse Amy, you should have a video about this. You should have a book about this. You should have an e-course about this. Why don't you do a webinar about this? I started to research it, because I didn't think, I'm like, oh my God, here I am looking for something that I can do, that I don't have to push that card, that med card, but it's right in front of me, and I've been telling people, do this, do this, do this, and what about me? So that's why I'm doing this. So what is that thing that you're passionate about? So I started to say, there's a student of mine who braids, and that's what we're working on. Now we're going to try to get her to do videos. If she can't do video, I've told her, if you can, not everyone does YouTube. I come from a filmmaking background. I love YouTube. I love to teach online. I'm comfortable. Some people are not. If she's not able to do that, we're going to find ways to do e-courses and ebooks where she can also market it. Strong point, marketing or social media marketing is not my strong point. Okay, it's just not. Have I learned it? Yes, I'm learning it, and I'm doing it, and it's killing me. So I'm actually open to outsourcing that to anyone who wants to help me or who's willing to collaborate with me. So I'm really open. There's no shame in my game. Then I also have another student of mine. Again, these are students that have passed through my class, and then we struck up a relationship, and I actually started to coach them. I didn't call myself a life coach. They started calling me a life coach. I'm like, huh? But again, this one here, she came to my CNA class, and she said, look, I like business, and I've always wanted to have a scrub. I want to have a scrub business. I'm like, that's something I had with a friend before in the past. We did scrubs, and I'm like, that's something you can do. Do you have the discipline to do it? She's like, oh yes, I've sold this before, I've sold that. So now we are in the process of, she started and then she stopped, because she needs that constant push. And I'm like, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep pushing you, but you also have to be held accountable, because it's one thing for me to push. You also have to be receptive and be willing to scale it up. So we are looking to make the scrubs business a reality. It's there's a business out there, because what she said, a lot of people told her, oh God, there's so many scrubs. Businesses out there, it's too saturated. What are you talking about? There's still people learning to be lash artists. People are learning every day how to lash extensions. Are you kidding? People are telling me, asking me to teach them lash extensions. So, but there's thousands of lash artists out there. Are you going to say, because in fact, let me tell you the trick. And I first learned this from my husband, actually, because he was he's into marketing in his own field, and very long time ago he worked with CVS, for those of you who know CVS, and they had a business. They were putting up a building near a Walgreens, and his manager was he was worried, and he was asking his manager, why are we coming to a place that already has Walgreens? I mean, it's not going to work. It's like, no, they already have traffic, so we're going to cash in on the traffic. So what essentially what I'm saying is, there's so many scrubs uniform scrubs business out there. It means is a niche that is selling, that is making money. Okay, does that make sense? So what are those things you can do to scale up, to make six figures like that? Teaching. So now teach people. If you are in that business where you know how to start a scrub business, start teaching it. Does that make sense? You can scale that up. You can teach it. Not only just having your own product, you have your own scrubs, but you also teach, like, hey, look, these are the challenges I went through. I don't want you to go through these challenges. Here's an ebook on, I don't know, 10 steps to achieving this, okay? Or these are how to deal with such challenges when they come up. Does that make sense? You're going to scale up that ebook. Have courses. You're going to do a course, a webinar of where people can come to learn how it's actually done hands-on. People love hands-on. I'm a skills person. I like to teach skills. So even with my aesthetics right now, I do intend eventually to pass on the skills. I have students who pass through my CNA class who have always pushed me, because I share with them what I want to do, and they're like, so when is your course going to be ready? Or someone to actually do hands-on with me. And I'm like, okay, let's just slow down. Let me get my 2 feet on the ground, okay? But teaching is a good thing. Teaching your skills. Teach that skill. Some people like to cook. I have a CNA student of mine now, Courtney. Yes, I'm using your name because I said I was going to. She bakes. And I'm like, oh my God. Do you know how much you can make from this? Start catering. Start catering to people, catering parties. You've got little kids. You know, you're always having parties. You have parties, you attend parties, you go to the parks, you know, all these events coming up. Make it known, I do cater, I bake. It could just be that niche. Maybe it's just baking cakes, baking cookies, baking cupcakes. That's what you do. Start to do that. Start to create a community. Get on Facebook. She's very active on Facebook. And I told her, that is your community. She's not shy. She is not shy. So I'm like, build that community. Start to teach that community how you do your business. There are people, they're stay-at-home moms, there are CNAs like you, there are nurses. I'm telling you, there are doctors who also want a side hustle or even a main hustle, something that can bring money in. Start to teach your skills. That is one way to get into that six-figure bracket. Okay, you can scale it up. Usually your teaching is from the things that you're doing. You know, you're making food, teach it. Get an ebook, get courses. Okay, get a webinar. You know, your community, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, that's where it starts from. There are those like-minded people who will come to you. okay, who want to know, who sometimes they even know, but they want more. There is strength in numbers. There is knowledge in numbers. I mean, I do what I do, but I also like to be with people that are in the same business as me, because the things I learned, the questions I even still have, and I ask like, hey, look, how do you do this? I have other instructors here, and instructors reaching me and say, hey, look, there was this skill. How do you teach this skill? I'm like, oh, this is what I do. How do you do yours? Oh, okay. Do you think it's faster to do it this way or that way? It helps. People, you cannot service the whole world. People need to understand this, because sometimes people want to keep their knowledge to themselves because they're thinking, I don't want people to know what I know. Well, there's just I don't even know. People like that, I don't want them in my space. It's just a waste of time. You can't service the whole world. You can only service who you can service. Your success doesn't stop mine. Mine doesn't stop yours. So let's just stop, okay? But I wanted to talk about teaching your skills. Teach your skills. Come up with an ebook. So I'm starting to put my money where my mouth is. Came up with an ebook for CNA people. The other ebooks, again, I write. I do write. So writing kind of comes easy to me. So one thing I'm also going to do is teach people how to write. It's my strong point. Okay, teach people, because it's one thing to say, because I tell people, what is it you have, teach people. Well, I should probably start doing the same thing too. Okay, teach people how to write. One thing I would definitely love to do is how to get over procrastination, because that is something I had to fight. Okay, I am I'm published now. I published my book. I'm going to leave a link down so you can please, it's a CNA book, but I'm going to start publishing all my other works. Okay, but if you know a CNA, if you're a CNA, you think it's going to help you, please, you can gift it, you can buy it, you can just support someone, support me. Anyway, thank you so much. So remember, one of the ways to scale up to get to those 6 figures category is teach your skills. Teach it. Okay, teach it, talk about it, teach people how to get that skill, hone that skill, get better at that skill, make business, make money from that skill. All right, I'll catch you in the next episode. Please remember to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share my videos. Thank you.